These fungi have been giving us humans mind-expanding trips for millennia. They grow all over the planet, but are illegal almost anywhere you go. During the Spanish Inquisition, they were even denounced as a tool of the devil. But today we know there's much more nuance to these magical mushies. This is the psilocybin mushroom.
Hey, I'm Tasha the Amazon, and you're watching Flora Logic. Today we're taking a trip with the world's most fantastical fungi, psilocybin mushrooms. Better known as magic mushrooms, mushrooms, or shrooms.
Psilocybin mushrooms actually refer to about 200 different species of mushrooms that grow all over the world.
When eaten, psilocybin mushrooms cause a psychedelic effect that's experienced as hallucinations, euphoria, altered thinking, and changes in perception and mood.
The compound in magic mushrooms that make them so magical is their namesake, psilocybin. Once ingested, the liver converts this compound into another called psilocin. Psilocin molecules are almost the exact same shape as serotonin, the neurotransmitter that regulates mood. Because they're so similar, psilocin can dock itself into the serotonin receptors in the brain, causing euphoria and all the other common psychedelic effects I mentioned.
Fungi are the primary source of naturally occurring psychedelics in the world, and the most potent of them belong to the genus psilocybe.
Despite the power they pack to send you sailing on a riverboat ride through your own mind, these little brown mushrooms are quite understated at first glance. But bruise or crush them, and most species of this genus will turn a characteristic deep blue.
I'm not gonna lie, seeing a mushroom turn blue sounds like what happens after you eat these psychedelics.
To fathom hell or soar angelic, just take a pinch of psychedelic, wrote psychiatrist Humphrey Osmond to author Aldous Huxley after coining the term in 1956. The word psychedelic comes from the Greek psyche, for mind, and delos, to show. And that idea of looking inward has fascinated us humans for millennia.
Indigenous communities in the Americas have been using psilocybin mushrooms for thousands of years in traditional practices and for medicinal purposes. The Aztecs called these sacred mushrooms astonishing gifts from the gods.
During the Spanish Inquisition, which began in 1478 and was created to enforce Catholic orthodoxy, all cultural practices involving indigenous belief systems were outlawed in lands that Spaniards invaded. They promptly mistranslated the Aztec name to flesh of gods, and these sacred mushrooms were instantly declared blasphemous and a tool of the devil.
This gift of the gods was forced underground for hundreds of years, yet another victim of violent colonialism.
Its common use today is similarly thanks to exploitation, but this time it came about through cultural appropriation. Mainstream popularity of mushrooms began after the publication of a Life magazine article in 1957 by a former banker that detailed the sacred mushroom rituals of the Mazatec people of Mexico.
Despite promising his guide that he wouldn't share the secrets of that ritual, he published anyway, and interest in this hallucinogenic mushroom instantly spiked.
Just 2 years later, Sandoz Pharmaceutical had isolated, synthesized, and patented the extraction process of psilocybin.
That Life magazine article, which actually coined the term magic mushroom, inadvertently made psilocybin mushrooms an instant counterculture success, beloved by the hippies of the 60s.
This then directly led to mushrooms being included in the Controlled Substances Act of 1970 in the United States, and being classified a Schedule I drug. Schedule I, which includes heroin, LSD, ecstasy, and marijuana, means that magic mushrooms are characterized as having high potential for abuse with no medicinal use.
Despite being classified as a Schedule I drug, it's difficult to overuse mushrooms, and physical and psychological dependence are essentially unheard of.
Attitudes toward this banned fungus are starting to shift as governments begin to embrace the potential medicinal and therapeutic benefits of psilocybin mushrooms. In the US, for example, psilocybin mushrooms have already been legalized in Oregon and Colorado. A handful of countries around the world also have a range of laws legalizing or decriminalizing mushrooms, while others have laws in place that are essentially unenforced.
Though they may sound like something from a Tolkien novel, magic mushrooms are not as mythical as their name implies, and can be found quite easily around the world.
2 species of magic mushrooms, Psilocybe cyanescens and Psilocybe allenii, for example, love wood that already has most of its nutrients removed. This means they frequently pop up right under people's noses in the wood chips of urban gardens in the US Pacific Northwest.
These species have been called synanthropes, organisms that love places built by humans for humans. And given their long history of use, I have a feeling magic mushrooms are gonna keep accompanying us on our trips.